Welcome to Story Grove, where we share screen-free stories for kids without noisy advertisements. We hope you enjoy. Milo Thompson was a kid with a good heart, a curious brain, and the memory of a scrambled egg. He simply forgot things, constantly. Water bottles, lunch boxes, his clarinet mouthpiece, and, just last week, an entire shoelace. You name it, and he usually forgot it at some point. His mum tried sticky notes, his dad gave him a checklist. Even his dog Baxter learned to bark whenever Milo left the house without his backpack. None of it worked. Milo remained forgetful. Endearingly so, but still. That's why he was drawn to the yard sale on Mulberry Street. An old sagging table sat at the edge of a cracked driveway, covered in odds and ends. A sign fluttered lazily above it. Magical items. Probably. Milo didn't believe in magic, but he did believe in interesting junk. So when he saw the backpack, he stopped cold. It was deep blue, patched with strange fabrics, stitched in zigzags, and slightly too big for a regular school bag. One of the buckles had what looked like a dragon tooth embedded in it. The tag read, "Practically magic, extremely helpful, not responsible for interdimensional borrowing." Milo squinted at the fine print. What? A sleepy old woman behind the table peered at him through enormous spectacles. "You want it?" she said in a croaky voice. "It's $1. "Only $1? Milo asked. "It'll change your life," the old woman said slowly, yawning, "and possibly your permanent record." Milo grinned. Sold! The next morning, Milo packed the backpack with his usual jumble, half a sandwich, 2 pencils, and a single sock. He slung it over one shoulder and headed for school, late as usual. Halfway there, it started raining. Milo groaned. He'd forgotten his jacket. Again. But then thwomp, an umbrella popped out of his backpack. Not just any umbrella. This one had golden spokes and a pattern of galloping llamas. He blinked. Thanks? He made it to school dry. In math class, disaster struck, a pop quiz. Milo had forgotten to study. He reached for a pencil and, pop, a completed worksheet dropped into his lap. Answers filled in, neatly, in cursive. Milo had never written in cursive in his life. "Where did this come from?" he whispered. The backpack gave a contented creak as if pleased with itself. Milo narrowed his eyes. "Okay, weird. I don't cheat." By lunchtime, the backpack had offered him a thermos of hot soup, a spoon, and a complete set of napkins folded into tiny origami dinosaurs. Milo was starting to suspect this bag was no ordinary bag. Things escalated during history class. Mrs. Benning, the teacher, was holding up a picture of an ancient amulet, the golden eye of Amenhotep, recently acquired by the City Museum. Milo's backpack rustled. He glanced down, the flap slowly opened, and sitting inside was the golden eye of Amenhotep, complete with gleaming gemstone, intricate carvings, and a little museum tag that read, "Do not touch." Milo slammed the flap shut. Nope, 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 nope. He spent the rest of class sweating bullets. That afternoon he sat with the backpack on the school steps, heart pounding. "Okay," he whispered, "you're magical, or cursed, or something, but you can't just take stuff." The backpack didn't respond, but it did spit out a granola bar, a juice box, and a note that said, "You seemed hungry." Milo groaned. "You're too helpful." He opened it again. Nothing. No swirling vortex, no secret compartments, just normal-looking contents. Except for the fact that one of those contents appeared to be a tiny, blinking traffic light. He gulped. That's not good. Down the street, someone honked loudly. A traffic jam had formed. Milo zipped the bag closed. "Okay, this is a problem." That night he tried to go to bed, but the backpack wouldn't leave him alone. It perched innocently on his desk. It glowed faintly. It was humming. Milo sat up. "You can't just keep borrowing things. That's stealing. Or magically unauthorized assistance. Or... The backpack opened slightly. A tiny key poked out. It said, "Mayor's office." Milo screamed into his pillow. The next morning, Milo woke up to the unmistakable smell of pancakes. He stumbled into the kitchen in his pajamas to find the backpack sitting on the table, literally on the table, with a stack of pancakes balanced on top. Not on a plate, on the actual backpack. "Are those from you?" Milo asked, rubbing his eyes. The backpack quivered and with a satisfied rustle pushed forward a bottle of syrup labelled "Property of Joe's Diner," not for home use. "Oh no," Milo said, backing away slowly. "You borrowed pancakes?" By the time he made it to school, things had only gotten worse. In gym class, the backpack handed him an Olympic gold medal for dodgeball. During lunch, it produced a 5-star chef's hat and a tray of perfectly seared scallops with mango reduction. In science, it gave him a glowing vial of something that hissed when uncorked, followed by a note that read, "Definitely not radioactive." Probably. Milo zipped it shut, shoved it in his locker, and gave it a timeout. After school, he trudged to the place he'd bought it, heart thudding. He turned onto Mulberry Street and froze. The driveway was there, the cracked sidewalk was there, but the house, gone. The table, gone. The sleepy woman in enormous spectacles, not even a trace, just weeds, a patch of moss, and an old stop sign half buried in the grass. Milo blinked. Number no, no, no. He ran in circles, checked the mailbox, empty, peered through the fence, nothing, and then plopped down in the grass, defeated. "Now what?" he muttered. The backpack slowly unzipped. Out floated a book. It dropped into Milo's lap with a thump. The cover read, "Helpful Hexes and Over-Eager Enchantments, a Guide to Compulsive Curses." Milo narrowed his eyes. "You had this the whole time." The backpack produced a small paper cup of hot cocoa by way of apology. Back home, Milo locked his door, drew the curtains, and opened the book. The illustrations were scribbled in glittery ink. The first page featured a drawing of a backpack with legs and a grin. Warning: enchanted assistance objects may escalate their helpfulness when underappreciated. Prolonged use may result in overreach, panic borrowing, or magical municipal collapse. "Great," Milo said. "This is a thing." He flipped pages, charts, diagrams, cautionary tales. Finally, one entry caught his eye. Case number 742, the borrower's burden. If your enchanted item begins stealing from high-level or sacred sources, an unbinding quest is required. Items borrowed must be returned. Owner must show willingness to act independently. A checklist followed. Step 1, confess to magical misconduct aloud. Step 2, return one borrowed item by hand. Step 3, visit a place of personal importance and leave a token of your own. Step 4, accept responsibility. At the bottom, in red ink, it read, "If the object begins humming in 4-part harmony, seek magical emergency services immediately." The backpack hummed in 2-part harmony. "Still time," Milo muttered. He looked out the window. Down the street, police cars were circling the museum. The power had gone out across the west side of town. A traffic light was dangling from a school flagpole. Somewhere, a news helicopter hovered confused. Milo took a deep breath. "Okay, I get it. You were trying to help." The backpack buzzed softly. "But this has to stop." He looked around. "We've got to return something. One thing. What's the most important?" The bag rustled. Out came the amulet, the golden eye of Amenhotep. Milo winced. "Of course." He zipped it inside, slung the backpack over his shoulder, and whispered, "Let's go fix this." As he stepped outside, the wind shifted. Clouds churned overhead. Sirens echoed faintly. The city was unravelling, and Milo had just become its most unlikely fixer. Milo pedalled his bike through the city, the enchanted backpack bouncing on his shoulders. Inside, the golden eye of Amenhotep glowed faintly. The further he rode, the more he realised how much trouble the backpack had caused. Museum banners hung limp, cordoned off with yellow tape. Traffic lights blinked in confusion. A street performer played kazoo next to a fire hydrant that now mysteriously spewed glitter. And someone had taped a sign to City Hall reading, "Temporarily closed due to magic." "Yep," Milo muttered. "Definitely my fault." He made it to the museum just after dark. With the power out, the place looked like a castle swallowed by shadow. Milo slipped around the back, heart pounding. The backpack shifted helpfully. opening a flap to offer him a skeleton key. "Nope," Milo whispered. "We're doing this without taking anything else." He climbed through the window he always noticed during school field trips, the one with the wobbly latch. Inside, the museum felt different at night, echoey, creaky, full of sleepy dinosaur bones and whispering artifacts. Milo tiptoed past the exhibits and made his way to the Egyptian gallery. The amulet inside his bag gave a soft hum. He slipped it into the display case just as a flashlight beam swept past the hall. Security. He ducked, held his breath. The beam passed. Milo exhaled. "One down." Back outside, he scanned the list from the backpack's book. Step 3. Visit a place of personal importance and leave a token of your own, he thought. Then he pedaled to the old playground behind his elementary school. It was where he learned to ride a bike, where he met his best friend Lucas, where he once forgot his shoes entirely and had to run in socks during recess. He sat on the swings, pulling something from his pocket, a bent action figure, Captain Chrono, missing an arm but full of memories. He dug a little hole beneath the tree, placed it inside and whispered, "Thanks for helping me grow up." The wind stirred. The backpack sighed. As dawn broke, Milo trudged up the steps to City Hall. The sun glinted off the windows. The town was slowly returning to normal. Inside, a janitor was unlocking doors. Milo walked in, head high. He approached the mayor's office and gently placed the stolen key on the front desk. He turned to the backpack. "I messed up," he said. "I let you do everything for me. But I think I'm ready to try without help. Real help, not magic." The backpack didn't hum, it didn't rustle, it simply unzipped gently. A final note slid out, lesson learned, access revoked, magic returned, you did good. Then it shrank. Patches faded. The dragon tooth vanished. It looked like a regular backpack. Milo slung it on. It felt lighter, quieter. He smiled. The next day at school, Milo arrived on time. He had his lunch, his homework, 2 sharpened pencils, and his clarinet mouthpiece. "Whoa," said Lucas. "You brought everything today." "Yep," Milo said. "Did your backpack help?" Milo shrugged. "Maybe, but mostly I did." And when it rained later that afternoon, he grinned. He'd even brought an umbrella. Thanks for listening to today's story. We hope you enjoyed it and feel calm and cozy. If you'd like more screen-free, ad-free and wholesome stories, don't forget to follow our channel. Or hop on over to our YouTube channel for even more wholesome screen-free tales. See you next time.